Hello everybody and welcome back to another lesson. Today we're going to be taking notes on dividing mixed numbers. Now for this lesson you are going to need your own piece of loose leaf paper. So we're going to title it Dividing Mixed Numbers. And we're going to put our name on it. Okay. So let's go ahead and give an example problem up here that we can walk through. Let's do 3 4/5 divided by 2 1/3. So similar to when we multiply fractions, when we divide fractions, we can't actually divide when we have mixed numbers. So we need to change those into improper fractions. So I'm going to write this a little bit larger. If you remember, we talked about this in class on Thursday. So we're going to do what's called the boomerang. So we multiply the denominator times the whole number and then add in the numerator. So for this one, we are going to be doing 3 times 5 plus 4. So 3 times 5 is 15, and then 15 plus 4 is 19. And then we will keep that over the same denominator, 5. So our new fraction becomes 19/5. All right, let's do the same thing with our second fraction. So we take our 2 1/3, and we're going to do the boomerang. So we're going to multiply our denominator times our whole number, and then add in our numerator up top. So our problem looks like 3 times 2 plus 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So we have 7, and then we keep the same denominator, 3. And now we're back to doing division just like we did before. We're going to use KFC. If you remember, sorry, let me erase that there. You remember that the K stands for keep the first fraction the same. Okay, so we rewrite down here, let's scooch that up a little bit, 19/5. We keep that first fraction the same. All right, then our F stands for flip the second fraction upside down. And who remembers what that's called? Remember, that's got a special name. We talked about it in the previous video. Yeah, that's called the reciprocal. All right, and then our C stands for change the sign to multiplication. So I forgot, I got to flip that second fraction upside down and change that sign to multiplication. All right, now looking at this problem, doesn't look like we can simplify before we multiply. So if we multiply the two denominators together, 5 times 7 is 35. And then we're going to need to multiply together the two numerators. So 19 times 3, let's see, 3 times 9 is 27. Carry our 2. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So we have 57 over 35. Remember, guys, that you can always do that work over here on the side. You do not have to do that in your head. You can always work it out over there to the side. Okay? All right, now in class we talked about to change an improper fraction into a mixed number, we use that big J. So we set up our division problem. 35 goes into 57 one time. 1 times 35 is 35. And then we subtract. 7 take away 5 is 2. 5 take away 3 is 2. Here's where our big J comes in. So we start at our top number, 1. That's our whole number. come down here to our leftovers, that becomes our numerator, and then swoop back up to our divisor, which becomes our denominator. And that's our final answer to that division problem. Looks good. All right, I don't know that I'm going to have enough room on the bottom of my paper, so I'm going to flip to the back side, and let's do another example of how we can change mixed numbers so that we're able to do that division. So go ahead and flip it over to the back side. This time, let's use the example 4 2/5 divided by 3 5/6. Okay, so again, I'm going to rewrite this just a little bit larger, and we're going to do our boomerang here. So we have 5 times 4 plus 2. Multiply, then add that top number. Okay, so the problem we're doing, 5 times 4 plus 2, that's going to give us 22, and we keep that same denominator, 5. All right, let's do the same thing to our second number. We have 3 5/6. We're going to use our boomerang here. So we're going to multiply our denominator times our numerator. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Our denominator times our whole number and add in the numerator. So we have 6 times 3 plus 5. 6 times 3 is 18, and 18 plus 5 is 23. And then we keep our same denominator of 6. Okay, now we are ready to rewrite our problem with our improper fractions. So we have 22/5 divided by 23/6. We're going to use KFC, so we keep our first fraction the same, 22/5. We're going to flip our second fraction upside down, so it becomes 6/23. And we're going to change our sign to multiplication. Looks like we have another one where we can't simplify. I have 2 even numbers up top and 2 odd numbers up on the down on the bottom, and those are both prime. So unfortunately, we can't simplify those, so we're just ready to multiply. And I'm going to have to do some work over here to the side because I don't know those in my head. So we're going to do 22 times 6 will be our numerators. 6 times 2 is 12, carry 1. And 6 times 2 plus 1 will be 13. So our new numerator is going to be 132. And then we need to calculate our new denominator. We have 23 times 5. So we're going to do 5 times 3, which is 15. And then we're going to do 5 times 2 plus 1, which is 11. And you notice that we have an improper fraction because our numerator is bigger than our denominator. So we're going to have to divide. So we have 132 divided by 115. Now those two numbers are pretty close together. I certainly couldn't fit two 115s in there. So we're going to go with 1. And then we need to subtract. Oh, I have to borrow from my neighbor here. So 12 take away 5 is 7, and 2 take away 1 is 1. And now we use our big J to remember how to write it. So our whole number is up top. We circle down to the 17. Those are our leftovers. They become our numerator. And circle back up to our divisor, and we get 115. So our final answer is 1 17 115ths. Whew, that's a mouthful this morning. All right, so the biggest thing that you need to remember is we cannot multiply or divide mixed numbers. We have to change those two impropers. So make sure that you remember that boomerang strategy to help us out so that we're able to multiply and divide those mixed numbers. All right. This is a nice short one for you. What I want you to do on the bottom of your paper, guys, write down here on the bottom of your paper, I want you to tell me what your favorite flavor of ice cream is on the bottom of this sheet, and that'll let me know that you're listening. All right, have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.